In this video, we're going to talk about the Internet Control Message Protocol, better known as ICMP or simply ping. Now, the way that this works is that we use this commonly in the networking world and in the IT support world for troubleshooting network connectivity issues. And the way that it works is that you open up your command prompt and you type in ping and whatever device you want to communicate with, whether you know the IP address or you know the domain name, and you're going to send them a ping. And your computer is going to ping them, and if it can communicate with them, that device is going to ping you back and say, okay, I heard you okay. And we call this an echo request and an echo reply. So you're going to be sending the echo request, and if they can communicate back, they're going to send an echo reply. If for some reason they can't communicate back, they're going to send a destination unreachable. And so we use this very commonly in the network support and desktop support realm, where if we're on the system and that system can't get out to the network, we can simply use a ping command to see if we can communicate with one of our servers or one of the other desktop systems. And if we can't communicate, then we know that we have some sort of an issue where we have to troubleshoot that. So here's a quick example here on the screen, and I am going to do a live demonstration, but here's a quick example of me pinging google.com. And it shows that I type in ping space google.com, that's the command, and it says here pinging google.com, and here's Google's IP address with 32 bytes of information, and then google.com replies, and it sends 4 replies saying I was able to get your ping, here's my response, I'm responding again with this 32 bits of information, and it took 21 milliseconds for the first one and roughly approximately 20 milliseconds for the other one. And then we can also look down here to see if we had any packets lost, and which shows that we sent 4 packets, we received 4 replies, and we didn't have any lost packets, so we're able to communicate just fine with them. Now let me go ahead and let me pull up my command prompt because I want to show you how this works. So rather than just showing you on the screen, we can go ahead and just to show you that this is a quite complex tool. There are different switches, so there's different options on here if we wanted to provide other information. So I'll do a ping space dash space question mark, and you'll notice that, and let me scroll this down to see if I can get this any bigger. You'll notice that there's a lot of different options, so you can tell it to do all sorts of different things here. But for us, we're just going to use the very basic ping functionality here. So I'm going to scroll to right here, and let's just ping yahoo.com. And here we go. So it says I pinged yahoo.com, and here's this IP address, and it shows the response, tells me how long it took, tells me how many packets of information I sent, how many were received, how many were lost. So we have 0% loss, so we're not having any connectivity issues. Now I am going to go ahead and ping my router. So let me show you, you can use this for an IP address as well. So let me get my IP config, and let me do this command. So I'm going to do an IP config -all, and I am going to get the IP address of my gateway, which is my router on my network. And so let's go ahead and find out what that is. So my default gateway is 192.168.0.1. So let me ping my router. So I'm pinging my router, and you'll notice that I'm able to communicate just fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video in a second. I'm going to go downstairs, I'm going to unplug my router, and then I'm going to try to ping it again, and then we'll see what happens when it can't reach a device. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, so I went ahead and I turned off my router, and I put the command in here, ping 192.168.0.1, and type enter, and look what it's going to say. Pinging that IP address, but destination host is unreachable. So if you are having connectivity issues, you're going to get something like this, and if it's intermittent, maybe some of them are going to go through and other ones are going to be unreachable. So that's our quick introduction to ICMP or ping in a nutshell, and I do recommend that you play around with this. If you want to find out more about it, simply do the ping dash question mark, and you can look at all the different options here, and you can go ahead and look at the syntax, and you can play around with this, and you can ping different websites and different network devices just to get an idea of how it works. Now, one thing to remember is that certain network devices are going to be set up to not respond to pings. So for example, certain web servers, certain different network devices on different networks. So if you're doing it at work and it's not responding, then it's set up not to respond. And they do that for bandwidth concerns. They don't want different devices responding to pings. And it's also a network security concern because it can be used for a denial of service attack. So you don't want your devices, certain devices on the network, to respond to pings in regards to that request. Anyways, if you do have any questions about this, go ahead and just Google it, or you can reach out to me with any questions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next video.